Greetings, my starseeds. Today's topic is an important, and we'll have a series on that. I've seen things at the UFO Congress in Scottsdale, which I always love to go. Also announcing I will be at Contact in the Desert. I'm having a booth under the Arcturian Council, and you'll find me if you look for the Arcturian Council, all in the works. So that's in June 3rd to 6th. If you want to meet me exclusively, talk to me or my partner for the Orion Council, Costa Rica, we will be there. We had a very successful year last year and this year also. So, but to the topic, the following videos I also will do experiencer videos, where they say contactee, abductee. I call it experiencer. I call my things not abductions. I call them visitations, meetings. It's not against my will. It is designed to bypass my ego, which will I explain in the experiencer files of what that actually means and why people are having trouble with contact and knowing who they are. One of my proofs is a piece of art that I channel, where I put energetic spectrums of light together in design and geometry to reflect that back. That's a piece of art, so that's a custom work. To show you that in the beginning I thought what I'm creating is art, thinking, oh, I'm very talented, very artistic. Asking myself, I mean, some have opposites. I'm more in the extreme spaced out. Like, why is it I'm 10 years old and Captain Kirk and Spock is like for me, I always was programmed to look beyond the race programming which we had on our planet. You know, indigenous people, native, black, white, green, yellow, purple, primitive, you know, you call them nations, you call them tribes. All of these labels are very confusing because we all are sparks of the source, light, carried out in a vessel, in whatever modality that is. So you diss somebody who has a PC, or somebody that has a Mac, or Hewlett Packard, or whatever computer they have, it's the shell. Or how can I put it? Like, you have a typewriter X, Y, Z. You want to diss the typewriter? Or is it about what the author basically designs coming through? So I wanted to share a few things. I will share that more in detail in my video, proof that I am a hybrid, a starseed hybrid, and what that actually means. So this video actually is about being a hybrid. You know, I'm all for it. Once many of us are. Nobody is a purebred. That's an illusion. And the hybridization program, what does that even mean, hybrids? Why we are part of it. Understanding also why hundreds of thousands of women have a pregnancy or phantom pregnancy, or an egg is missing. Well, that egg goes somewhere, and somewhere there's a being created from that. Some have sexual dreams, remember how it was created, remember holding a baby in their arms. And psychologists try to rationalize that and put it in a box. But here's something what you cannot rationalize. First of all, I talked about gravitational waves in 2009. Okay, people that knew that I was onto something. See, I'm not a professor. Many will know this. We have now, a month ago, roughly, found out, what Einstein said with these gravitational waves, they do exist because we found a modality to measure those. And I say another thing, we have scalar waves and informational waves that are based on light and photonic interaction. Also, in due time, we will develop a modality to measure those. Then at some point, we will develop cameras that can look into other dimensions, literally. One camera already has been developed that can film hyperspeeds. And when you go into these speeds, NASA has found out, where it's a very, very high spectrum of light, and you record it and then you slow it down. I hope I'm having this correctly. Slow it down. Then you would actually see these photonic beings and orbs hovering around us, and in the sky, plasmic energy becomes visible. When people said that's impossible, it is possible. It just has to do with finding a permission slip for your consciousness to accept that it is so. Now back to the hybrid thing. I'm a hybrid on Earth, and I'm a hybrid in space. So first off, why I know, and I have proof I'm a hybrid, and that's the basic, the 3D line, is that I am Afro-American, Apache, and German, Huguenot, and somewhat other. I will do a DNA test to even see what all races are in me. No longer can you say I'm one race, like we're becoming neutronic, where you can not even say this, that, and the other, which is good, because then this race question stops, which is, you can say, evil's biggest distraction and misuse to keep you in 3D. So we're fighting for equality. We want to look at everybody the same and get the spirit back in, meaning your hybrid DNA activated, as in your alien DNA activated. And some people say, well, there's no proof that there's actually ET DNA in you. Well, isn't it funny that science today says that 95% of your DNA is junk? That is quackademic to me. We have to be humble enough as scientists to say there are pieces in the DNA, which that I know from my downloads, they have to do with geneticists that have been working on us for millions and millions of years. People that say Earth is no older than 10,000 years, that's also laughable. Real simple, if you find a fossil, and some people that are very hard-headed, that also has to do with a belief system. The mind makes it real. So I strongly feel before a bone fossilizes, you need minerals running through the settlements of the earth, like as you see behind me, like let's say calcium, I don't know, rhodium, iodine, I don't know, whatever mineral you have, silica, and water runs into the bone. Measurably, we can somewhat roughly measure how long does it take for a bone to fossilize. Millions of years if you want to wait. So for a bone to fossilize overnight, that is, in this dimension, as we can observe it and have quantifiable evidence, impossible. So know this, Earth is millions of years old. The human race is millions of years old. We have no idea. Intelligent species, millions of years old. This 40,000 years in sticks and stones, you can put that in a box. That's that box. Okay, for those that know, I'm preaching to the choir. So here's my thing where I know I get something where I read an article also, and people go, you can't believe anything the internet says. Well, the internet is the connection to connect the consciousness on this planet. So I think this year we also found out that memory can be transferred through DNA from your ancestors. So if I have, let's say, Asian ancestors, but somewhere down the line in that generation, my gene code knows how to speak that language. But we are conditioned and bred into one language being, two on average, and then it stops. Well, the mind makes it so, and guess what? Your synaptic profile wires that, and then that's all you know. But when you tap in, which is what I allowed myself to do, and first of all, you think you're going to go crazy. All cultural programs of slave programming, that societal status quo that you have, will rebel against you, guaranteed. But you got to push through. You're not going crazy, you're going sane. So here's the things that came through. And I'm not a, like, I mean, I can paint. I have an idea of images. Let me see if I can put this up here. I painted this machine. I saw this machine shimmering in front of me on a piece of paper. Like I saw, you can say like a bleed through and descriptions. So from what I can pick up, I will build something like this in the future. And then you'll see how this takes place. So what I'll do actually is now show you other things that I've channeled where I have no idea how that came through, but I don't speak that language. That was on the 20th of June 2007, where I had this where this phase was very, very, very lucid, and then this came through. See, so I was channeling. If anybody can translate this or read this, this came through. Okay. Freeze frame the camera if you want to. This is just to get you an anchoring and to show you that what's channeled is actually real deal. Then I have this here, which was inspired by a channel or a starseed named Tracy Taylor. Also, what I had was where I'm trying to find like language experts to decipher this. This is what comes through. sometimes, and this has to do with supernatural skills, and they don't come in with fireworks, party people. You got to get over this levitating mind manipulation. One professor, which shall remain nameless, propagates the fact that hybrids are here to overtake the world, and the regular humans will be second-class citizens. The entire human race is part of a hybridization program, actually, because of this. If you created interdimensional wars, okay, and I'd say just if, okay, for those who don't believe and think it's all a fairy tale, I'm giving you, for those that know what I'm saying, is these are downloads that I receive on the ships. Like I go and these, when I'm on a ship and I have the awareness, they let me retain what I study. So I go into these archives where I downloaded. It's like you look at something and then you see images coming at you. It's like a kind of like a mushroom trip, but it's like without the mushroom. It is like it goes in here, and then you know. So I wake up in the morning, like today, and then I know there's areas that I could visit on a planet where tapping into what I remember from up there is very hard. So there's a difference in energy around you as a hybrid. So one of the abilities, and they come and go, like it's out of control. So also this is for those who are just now being contacted, having beings contacting them giving you a light show, meaning they're activating the hybrid self in you, meaning the ET part of you, 95%. Can you imagine 95% of you is dormant? That's your ET self. That's for all of us. Not everybody wants to or will develop the awareness that it is so. But I'm digging, and it's getting crazier by the minute. Here's something where I've actually proved. Like, I'm assuming this is ancient Syrian. So anybody who speaks Syrian or can read crippled Syrian language, partially translated. I touched a guy when I was in Germany, a refugee from Syria, and I said, can I touch your shoulder? Do I have permission? And I don't even know why that came in. I don't do these things like that. So he's like, sure. And he said something about me was familiar, and he liked my speech because I was talking about racism. I'm talking to school kids as part of my rap career was, going to schools, talking about how that was for me in Germany in the 70s growing up. And how we can come together, how we can sit down and give people the experience that it's not about race. It was never about race. It's about politics and getting people to fight each other. And, superior, inferior, all of this labeled stuff is to distract you from what's actually up here. Again, this is to believe ancient Syrian. So if anybody can read this is my writing. And partially down there, the guy tried to help me and translate it, but I don't speak Syrian. So I need somebody to contact me. I'm gonna hold it still to help me find out what part of a script that is. My feeling, this is also an ability that I have, that this is part of a storyline of the ancient wars that took place on Earth. And I don't speak Syrian, this is all felt. And maybe am Syrian, ancient Syrian. I'm not a language expert again. I can, look at Sumerian and then scribble something and something will come out. I haven't even started that experiment, which will also happen. There's something in the field that wants to be translated through us. And they say those that allow themselves to be most in tune, as in most holy or complete and repaired and viral free. All of us are either by thought or microorganisms. We're infested. Even though we look normal, but I'm still beating Lyme that I had for 30 years. Lost in two years over 30 pounds. Now after 2 years, my weight's picking back up and I'm coming back. For those that are worried now, I'm coming out of it. And I found hundreds of mycobacteria that kind of were governed by this Lyme disease, limiting me in my ability to go metaphysical. The more I'm healing myself, the more I'm also reaching metaphysical abilities, such as precog. So part of the other abilities, before I get into what it even means to be a hybrid, is that I was they gave me a job to let me put these papers down, to design an album cover for myself, which I called Consciousness. And then I just channeled from the tattoo that I have on my back how consciousness is actually, what's the template. So I have the human, the Vitruvian man, then my my tattoo is actually an informational key to the DNA construct, activating the hybrid within. Then the 7 stages of activation into, to when it gets etherical. I don't know if you see that good. Then the chakratic information templates, how the body, the electric, the magnetic, and the etheric body templates are connected to the higher crown. I saw templates and artifacts coming up, shimmering in and out, writings about the brain, the wiring, finding the implants in myself by just scripting it out. And yeah, this was an album cover, and everybody was like, "Oh, you're so creative." And now 7 years later, it dawned on me that I channeled information. I mean, I have something here where that I found parts in a book they call the Urantia book, which is similar. It says that before ascending, mortal jinns leave the local universe to embark upon their light careers. They will be satiated, respecting every intellectual, artistic, and social longing or true ambition, whichever character inspired them in their mortal existence. So the mission for angelic breeds contains the 7-fold power of 7 rays, spheres embedded within the spirit, to be activated once knowledge is true and released. I don't even know why I wrote this. I thought, this is all me being creative. So I will get into books. I had you can see crop circles down here for the activation templates. Then my Aquarian symbol, and I'm Aquarian, and how these templates, all these super programs are installed into me and how they work, so I could see myself in this. You can see the Merkaba. I will draw it out more and make it a postcard or whatever, make it more available. Sorry, with the sunlight. So you see me in this Merkaba type construct, me being half human, half hybrid. We also have part Draconian DNA that we have to thank our Anunnaki and ancestors for that. That the stem brain in our brain is reptilian based. That's actually scientific fact. So don't be so quick to judge. Part of the suit or the space suit for this dimension that you're wearing has an inbreeding of a survival thing from the Draconians, which is where you can shut off emotions and it's just about survival. The thing is, if you subscribe to that, then you become very draconian. So narcissistic and psychotic and sociopathic, we have that within the government and all over the place. These people don't have the heart brain cord and stomach like wired. You have 3 sun templates that need to be wired correctly. That is your stomach, your heart, and your brain. These are also templates that are not known to man now. They will be released. I have so much data piled up that I haven't found the time yet to write a book, but I will try to write something like a Starseed Ascension manual to actually break down to you the functionality of things to be that will have a physical impact on you as you're hearing them. So also, I'm very, very clear about relaying this message to you, not just making up stories or trying to make a quick buck just to, I don't know, live Hollywood. It's a very tough job, which brings me to why it is so hard being a hybrid. So me realizing that I'm a hybrid, also on ships being told you're a hybrid, also knowing that I have hybrid children, and when I was introduced to my children, I was emotionally very, very, very hurt. Like I had, which I thought to be a dream, which wasn't a dream. I was taken out of my body. It was in Berlin. I had a spirit guide who looked like a harlequin, like with the teardrop and the black and white face. He looked very funny, and he was smiling, and he was pointing, like I said. And I saw, like, I don't know, 30 kids in front of me, all races mixed, from Asian, white, black, purple, green, blue, elven ears, like pointy ears, eyes, wide eyes, Zeta type looking, Esasani looking, and I knew they were all mine. Who I was involved with up there and how this takes place, I don't know how that takes place, but I know we are involved in breeding that. The reason why that is, and I heard somebody talking about, yeah, it's all in secrecy and nobody's supposed to know. Here's the thing is why they kept that in secrecy for us. Let me see if I can adjust it, make it a little bit more straighter, is because we were killed. Go to the witch hunt. 20 million females with supernatural powers were, burned at the stake for having healing powers. That's part of an ET skill. We are the cells. We are put here to help to restore consciousness. And restore consciousness means if we find a field where people butcher themselves and kill themselves, which is evident. It's not about politics and who's going to be the richest man in the world, who's going to be the most spiritualist, as in being real. That we can set up systems that consciousness will understand. What are we doing? We're killing each other. What are we doing? We're killing the environment. What are we doing? We're living not in harmony with the environment. And this planet is designed for a cohabitation, coexisting, not parasitic depletion of sources like Agent Smith says in the movie The Matrix. I had a revelation I'd like to share with you. Would you care to know what it is? And what did he explain? Humans, you're a disease. We're the cure. When he explained entire crops were lost. Humans wouldn't accept the Paradise program we gave them. So we decided to do something for them. But guess what? When we fell asleep, which is a whole other story which I'm trying to break down in another video, which will include time wars. Like if I hit you with and they've seen it in cartoons, funny, de-evolutionize a cannon, and I hit you, they got taken apart, torn apart. Belief systems and spiritual belief structures and tribal spiritual hierarchies got literally, how can I put it, obliterated. And what's left is the memory banks of those that allow themselves to say, and this is what I want to share with you, or it's like a coming out, yes, I'm a hybrid. I believe to know that I am a starseed hybrid. And I cannot move objects. I'm not able to mind manipulate, how some people say that. And also know this, when people have black eyes or dark eyes, it's nothing evil, it's just your photonic perception level is increasing. What happens? Your iris begins to open. When people are on mushrooms or mind-altering drugs, why do you think their eyes blacken? Because their perceptive level is increased. But not only you will know those are activated, I think even Jesus said that you will know them by their eyes. Is when your eyes open, your eyes get really black. Well, that's like you get ET eyes. That looks uncanny to people that are not used to it. So people with black eyes or very black eyes need to be very cautious and alert that they keep the divine in the spirit and look at if they're being manipulated or infiltrated, or if they have the job to do and somebody is working against them when they're actually doing the job. Really, really look at this. Also know this, your eyes will be black when you're activated and your aura is going to be wider. There's more going on. Yeah, it's for those that don't know that they're extraterrestrial, it's very, very confusing. But I say let the light in, let it shine in, let it bleed through. Don't be, confused by how that is happening to you. You're supposed to wake up. And some people get a wake-up call, which I find like tremendous. Is one lady, she's Arcturian, works in a boutique in Canada, I think. I forgot her name. Does beautiful videos. I think coming out of the closet as a starseed video. You'd have to search engine that. And she's in a store, all of a sudden it's like time freezes, everybody freezes, she's still moving. And she's like, what's going on? Everybody, all the customers, they are just like this. And she hears a voice saying, you are Arcturian. Very loud. You are Arcturian. And I'm like, whoa, okay, let's listen to the story. And what I do is I don't listen to your words. What I do is I listen to your emotional content, body structural behavior, and I get into the resonance of the story that you're relaying. That makes you a human lie detector. Get into the truth of the matter. And I'm not talking about seeing white mice or flies or bats where they're not. That's the crazy stuff. And I feel the woman and say, okay, she has experienced that. She wrote down that she's Arcturian on a piece of paper and put that piece of paper in her pocket, thinking, when I wake up from this, I want to know if this really took place or is this all the fabrication of my mind. And then, hit play in that dimension, everybody moves, and she's like, okay, but the others haven't seen that because that happened outside of time. They can do that to us. These are our people from the future. These are not so much extraterrestrial. The fun part is that these are most of our ancestral creation coming back in time to fix us because we somehow lost it. Literally, we went crazy thinking that this planet Earth, this dysfunctional system here this is our reality, when this is actually fact that it is not. And I'll prove that to you in the near future. We already have access to the land, but I want to acquire like something more controllable, where it's closer, not so far away. Well, we will set up systems that will fractalize to a golden ratio the air, bring the atmospheric structure back the way it's supposed to be, as in Lemuria or Atlantis, before the fall, way before the flood. And when you inhale that air, and when you're in that area, you will get right. You will all of a sudden adjust and fix. They showed in these medical magazines healing cancer with protons. And they got these machines where they shoot protons at people. And I'm like, okay, my future dream, I'm not making any claim, but my future dream is healing cancer with photons. Finding a directive way with frequency to get at somebody to heal them. And that's part of being a hybrid, knowing that and activating that without having to be a doctor, without having to be a professor, because on a spaceship, I'm Ra, I'm off the Ra. It's basically saying like if let's say me, I'm Google, but I'm not Google. I'm subscribed to the collective Google. That's why I have Gmail, okay? So same as Ra. I subscribed to the Ra, Social Memory Complex Collective. That's why I am Ra, Arcturus Ra, representing the signature light frequency and science coming from the sun, Arcturus, in part of the ascension process. So that's why some of you are Syrian, Orion, Draconian, Anunnakian, El of the Elohim. Remember Israel as the children of Isis, Genesis, genes of Isis, is Isis, Ra, the Ra collective, and Elohim. So the Isis gene pool, the Ra gene pool, and the Elohim gene pool, which was not all Anunnakian, yeah, but also heavenly, not fallen Elohim. Understand it. There was a mix-up, which also will be explained in later videos, where good angel, bad angel, one angel tells you to go this way, and then another angel says go that way. That's where the confusion took place. Or another angel, as an extraterrestrial advanced future being, comes in, you know, mimics that he's the voice of God, and a religion is built on that, and everything is out of control. So a lot of books are built on false beings, demigods, but not Ra, not Isis, not Horus. Seth was the betrayer. These are angelic ancestral lineage, royal blood before you even knew what royal blood was. By genetics right now, you can't even prove what royal blood is, because we believe that royal blood was blue back then. That you were so in tune, that you were so metaphysical that you were actually blue. But that's only for one species of extraterrestrials that have been here. So there have been others that had green blood, different royal branch. And then what came in, the leftovers, the Mardukian people, and I know who you are, you know, so don't think I'm sleeping. I don't have to propagate all that. And it's all good. You're all here to fix your karma. Because the thing is, we've been recycled for over 30,000 years. There's the light, and I say the false white light. You go there, you meet your relatives, or templates of your memory of your relatives. You don't even know if that's really your relatives, and then you're going back to Earth. You're built to transcend this once your job is done, and that come back over and over and over and over. Because it's like they keep recycling something that becomes non-essential to recycle the soul, because a soul is actually based to be interstellar. That's part of the gene code. But some people in the 60s already said that, tripping, that they could see in the gene code our base root program is that we have to migrate at some point and go interstellar. Hence our science fiction. Our mind is already migrating. So will the bodies in the future. I just thought I heard somebody walking next to me, and I see nobody, so these things happen in Sedona, so don't be alerted. But this was really weird. I heard footsteps right next to me. I kid you not. Anyway, so prepare yourself and allow yourself to know that you're a hybrid, and to wrap it up globally, because I tend to drift. Sorry folks, so much coming in and I have to really filter out what. Growing up as a hybrid is not like that you're born genius like Hollywood shows it. You can make objects move, you can manipulate people, everything works for you. And then, what is true, you're the hunted. The reason why they put this all dormant and in hiding, and for regular science will not find the DNA hybridization, braiding in the DNA, because they don't have the equipment developed that can see that. Our ancestors and our brothers and sisters, our families, mind you, they have that. That means they can look at the Gattaca code and then they see a red spot. That's a little iron section. Oh, that's part of Antarian. Oh, there's a little bit of planet Rigel here. Oh, okay, you have a little bit of Zeta in you. Okay, there's a 1% Draconian here. Then we have Pleiadian and a little bit of Syrian. Oh, okay, this one here was DNA-wise braided to become that being to carry that consciousness, also unifying the races within the body, making peace. This is the conflict. So some people, if they're very, very mentalized and they're less emotional, they're not just Draconian, they also haven't integrated their Zeta reticuli part that makes them. Some are that are Zeta, sometimes tinier, very, very pointy chin, the head is a little bit bigger, you know. There are sequences in the human reference where you would know that somebody is really extraterrestrial just by looking at them. For those kids and people like I that can see auras, when it is allowed, you can see who is who. When I went to the UFO Congress, you can see an agent, you can see the intent, you can also see those that have just been turned on, they haven't got a clue what's going on, and we will do workshops for those, which will be called Experiencer and hybrid self activation workshops coming up. So it's in the preparation. I can't give you a timeline because it's all like instructional how I'm getting this. That's how we'll place it. And also, like I said, you know, growing up is in school. You know why I left? I really reveal myself here, like a punk playing myself. You know, and people that laugh at me, you laugh. I know left from right because I'm wearing a watch. The reason why I'm wearing a watch is so I have an orientation in 3D to know left from right. I forgot about that trick when I was little, because here's one thing. For those beings, you know, I came in left, and I'm how do you say, ambidextrous. I can write with this hand, I can write with this hand. In school, they said this is the hand. They said this is false. Okay, so they beat the left out of you, and further back I was told that they said that the kids were told it's demonic or evil to be lefty. Lefty is, you know, emotional and an empath being, so you're naturally with this receiving and being very receptive with things. So in school I was a lefty, so I mimicked, very quick to pick up that pen, got a watch like everybody else. So I looked at the kids and said, okay, like I really felt like a visitor, and I thought this was weird, but that was my ET self. Looking at the kids, they all got watches and they all wear them on this side. So, and then I asked the kids, what side is that? And they said left. So I remember, when you wear your watch, this is left, and where you don't wear your watch, this is right. And I ran into this problem again when I thought, you know, go spiritual, detox, all the stuff that you do and find yourself, which I know now more of my extraterrestrial self is more the realness, is that actually I took the watch off. I wanted to be timeless, and I lost my anchor points time-wise, even though this is the false time, but this is an anchor point as a reference to talk to the muggles that are still asleep so they can understand you. So you go into, okay, this is what it means for them to be human, so let's reach them on their level and talk to them, because actually I talk a little bit different, like I'm talking now, where I'm losing a lot of people that don't want to hear it or think this is completely, you know, you screw loose. You don't have all ducks in a row. Anyway, I'm just sharing that with you. So I didn't know left from right. I was dyslexic. I would scribble symbols and other words on page, which seemed to be easier for me than writing the language that they taught in school. I'm like, this is utter nonsense. You're supposed to write on a line and make a dot and the punctuation and the comma. I have total failure. I was like, this is a very complex system. It's not felt, it's very mentalized. So I'm like, this is very mentally controlled system that you have to follow, and if you don't follow it, you get bad grades. You get bad grades, I realize they punish you. They laugh at you. They segregate. They take you out. And I'm like, okay, I don't like this class. I don't like what you're teaching. This is not oneness. So kids, indigo kids that don't know left from right, first of all, if they're left, parents, please let them Let the left be the left, because that it's so important for them to come out and be themselves. Left is normal. If that comes natural, let it be. Also, if they're dyslexic, that means they're still running extraterrestrial programming, having problems understanding the earthly programming. So that needs time for integration. Do that soft and mild. Homeschooling, online schooling, less stress for your kids. Listen to your kids. If they have the weirdest story tales, well, they might as well being a hybrid. Hybrids are being created to save our ass. Not to rule or run anything, is to serve the purpose that the species will make it. Because somewhere in a future timeline we realize the species is going extinct because we messed it up. So our future aspect is trying the best they can to fix the situation, traveling back in time dimension, coming here to fix it. That's why we don't understand the phenomenon of UFO. These are time machines and time travelers. Watch I think The Golden Age is a manga animation video where they show these time travelers, and the prophet is on a cliff and they give him a hologram of a messiah, and they're like, oh, the messiah is in the sky. They did that with the ship to cloak themselves so they wouldn't be seen. Watch Star Trek, I think, was it Into Darkness, where it says Class M Planet Nibiru. You think that happens by accident, that they put that Hollywood puts these things in, and they play with a little bit of truth, and the rest is just Hollywood. Okay. And another thing also with X-Files, abductees, usually they don't kill them. They used to kill whistleblowers, and also ETs that would visit you or your family, and they do your medical checkups. There's kids that explain that. We have checkups. I woke up once in the room on the table. It wasn't a cold table. I was more in a tube with glass, and I said, let me walk around. I said, you're not ready to walk around yet. There's a few things that need to be integrated before I can let you loose here. And I walked around on ships. I have full memory walking around on ships. And they are, how do you say, temporal time fields where they can allow you to retain memories. And there's time fields when your consciousness, when you have too much fear installment, where they do not allow you to store your memories. Know this. So, what I want to say is that in school, I had difficulties. I wasn't a genius. I wasn't the smartest. This is all Hollywood. This is not how it works. I was smart too soon. If you 6 years old or 7 years old and you talk about planets and you wonder when gravity stops, you get laughed. I mean, that's where I came from. I don't know how it is today. I was laughed at. I didn't know the soccer team. I didn't know the NFL, the players. Like, you're an outcast. More than just your color. It's like nobody want to talk to you. Trust me. For me, it was horrible. For me to go to school, I think, let's be honest, it was horror, because I had to put on a mask, fake that I'm that human projection that gets exception, will be respected and accepted by the others in order to function in class. I said, that is not me. So what did they do to me? You're going to a school shrink. You learn to socialize with these people, with their dysfunctionality, and learn to accept that. Meaning that to me, that was like a slap in the face. It's like somebody calling you a color, and I had that in school. Pardon, I have to bring that up. And the teacher was like, I had to excuse myself for defending my skin. So that's how, as a kid, you grow up. And I want to go other dimensional, because I don't want to make this about race. So if you're an ET and you do what your ET self would do, you have to explain yourself while you go into your ET self. Horrible. You have nobody to lean on, nobody that you can talk to. And right now, interestingly, so you know how the race is being unified? Everybody's getting hit right now. Everybody's being activated. Everybody needs to get in gear. We're here. We are planetary servers. We're extraterrestrials in human form. And it's not an invasion. And it's not a takeover. Because understand, Stephen Greer said that before. If you're a species, and let's say you're only 100,000 years ahead of time, what do you want with Earth? What on this dysfunctional planet is so important for you that you must control the humans? You must make the millions, and you need minerals. When you have replicators that can create diamonds, that can produce gold, like any material in the future can be manifest. When we reach the immaterial stage, which ultimately where we're going, you can produce anything that you require. And we're working ourselves there. And that's when money actually will fade out. Money is already going immaterial, as in digital. Jose Arguelles predicted that we're reaching the immaterial stage. Us as hybrids, we see it clearly. And I want to print t-shirts saying Starseed Hybrid by popular demand, because there are people that are against the change. But it's inevitable. Nature has its own way, by cosmic lore, how this is developed and how we grow into our spiritual and galactic adulthood. And this is to be activated. So I call myself, yes, a starseed ambassador, helping those that get and receive activations, how to work with these skills, and how to establish communication on other dimensional layers. It's the classical way is, yeah, you have a gray in your room next to you, and he will talk to you using telepathy. When that happens, some people go, you can't hear it because it's a very high pitch, it's a very high frequency. Once your brain is trained enough, which is what you do on the ships at nighttime, and you attune, you will have a knowingness and an understanding of how and who's communicating with you. Then a lot of clarity of what you channel and what you data stream will come to you, and you will be better and you'll be right. And you will integrate that in your life and you'll be happy. And that's what we're here for. And what we do with selling products, that's for all starseeds out there that have business. We support each other to help people to wake up, to establish their own abundance, step into their own grid, their own interdependence, so we can all put chips on the table and say, this is what we have built. Can you imagine a starseed summit? A big one? Can you imagine a bazaar with like a gem show, but it's a starseed workshop gem show where people bring the craziest invention of free energy devices, anything that works, put it out, put it on the table. And I need your help, so join me for this cause. In Google groups, I'm the Azenders, the A-Z, as in Arizona, A-Z, Enders. On my website, sometimes it takes time before I activate members to be part, and that's free. Doesn't cost anything. My videos are free. Products exchange because I gotta pay to make. It's like you go to the baker, you buy your bread, the baker works, that's labor. I, like my grandma said, I respect the labor. I give the exchange, I pick up my bread or my rolls. That has to be respected. That's universal law, and that's karmically clear. You give, I take. I take, you give. There's always universal exchange. I inhale and exhale, therefore I live. Nothing is actually based on free energy. It's a permission and an equal balance amongst us. So, on Instagram, I'm Arcturus91. Add me. Please find me. Subscribe to my channel. There's more crazy stuff coming. I have stuff in the works. I had a little setback because I was a little sick last year. And now I'm building, as you can see, more devices coming up with new things. See the two stickers here? This one I will release soon. These are basically mitochondrial and cell structure templates that I was given by a guy who downloaded them, and I felt them and I said, okay, this works, can I use this? And he said, well, do whatever you want to do with that. So the download that I got is sticker templates, 2 that you put on a table and you put your hands on them, and within 3 minutes your light meridians are balanced. We measure that with a machine that measures biophotonic resonance in the skin. One day I don't know, I'll have that machine, but it's $40,000, so that takes a while before I can dream that dream. But I want these gadgets there to show you the proof. When you touch this, look at the light in your body. When you touch this, look at the light in your body. When you have a celly that's unprotected and no stickers on it to actually redirect the light that's coming at you, look at your light levels dropping. Like, I want people to develop the awareness how we can fix ourselves and make that better, and make this a big star seed retreat so we can get in gear and adjust ourselves and function better. I will do my best for the next video to conceptualize it more, to bring topics out more, to break actually down what it means to be a hybrid. And for those hybrids who want to share, or hybrids, you're out there, you have questions, please post comments in form of a question under this video, and I will make a video based on you answering your contact, the lights you see, time glitches, loss of time, things that you can explain, that you want to integrate, you have problems, but you don't have an expert that can explain that. I'm an expert because I went through it all. Growing up thinking I'm losing my mind, I had an invisible friend, which kind of looks like the guy that you see here. and curious guy, kind of moved the way this dude moves, and now I know this was not an imaginary friend because 30 years later the dude came back with two more dudes, so it's three. And my ex-girl back then saw them, scared shitless, and said, "You gotta tell them they gotta leave our apartment because I can't go to the bathroom because it's very upsetting." So I had to explain to them, "You gotta do that with me when when there's the time you do that with me, and when others are not around because people fear you. They have a lot of fear programming, which is the greatest Anunnakian limiter for the human race, is the fear of another race, meaning you only fearing the future aspect of yourself. And don't be afraid to announce that you're a hybrid. Everybody that will diss you or attack you in the Akashic records will be noted for their spiritual program where they at. Everything is being recorded. There's no escape. The only way is through this class and as divine as possible. So for those who bring the most peace and knowledge to that and the acceptance, you'll get your badge. For those who bring the destruction and becoming disrespectful or coming with bad perceptive behavior, you get the same badge, and it'll be known for who you are. And I don't like to quote holy books, but one thing that I like is Jesus said, "You will know who is who by the fruits of their labor." And you don't need Jesus or as in Jeshua or the Easu, which is the children of Ea. You will know, and I say this, who is who by what are you building, what are you doing for the planet, and what are the physical effects of what you are creating here with quantifiable and repeatable evidence to show to the people, whether they accept it or not. Once it works, it works. Trust in you. You're all super smart. You've been dumbed down. You've been brainwashed. You've been moonwashed. And now it's time to wake up, to get in gear, step it up. We all got to work together. This is the year now for activation. And the rest, I'll see you at Contact in the Desert. And thank you for joining me and subscribing. I very much appreciate you because you're showing me that I'm onto something. And again, like the language expert about this ancient Syrian, if anybody's out there, please contact me. I send you a JPEG. I need a translation so I can actually have an English proof for those that don't speak the language that I'm doing something here that makes sense. We already know this is ancient Syrian from a guy that is Syrian, but he couldn't translate that into English. So that's what I'm waiting for. And know this, the future has no politics, no polished tricks, no lunatics, no presidents, no government. Governmental is you govern your mental. You work within the law and bringing the new law of a wakefulness self that will beat man-made laws for everybody to see, like our ancestors said it, like the Hopi, the Navajo. I'm part Dene, which is the Navajo, you can say, branch. It's time to bring the spirit back into the vessel. Bring your star being back in yourself. And on that note, I'll give you a little bit of star language for those that are sensitive and close this chapter. This is the beginning of what it means to be a hybrid. Amue, Nataya, Ama Sakwa, Nekeshewe, Asawa, Tewa, Kamua, Nee, Esemua, Amu, Emue, Nesewa, Tau, Kemua Samakayu, Asaya, Ama, Utu, Ese, Yembeua, Kataya, Musunu, Mo Namaste.